A very good evening, all. I'm Aditi Lamba, and this is the Wednesday night South Asian news segment. Welcome to Vision of Asia, the coronavirus pandemic report, coming to you from a remote location in New York City. We continue to present relevant and thought provoking updates, information, and advice featuring top South Asian doctors, nonprofit executive, and other leaders to truly bring forth a conversation to alert the community. Again, we urge all our viewers to continue practicing social distancing and follow all guidelines of the CDC to protect yourself and others and to allow frontliners to take care of the critically ill. Write to us with your experience on events at itvgold.com if you are on the front line. We look forward to hearing from more South Asian healthcare workers. COVID 19 has now infected more than 2.6 million people globally, killed at least 181,000 people. In the United States, the number of cases has surpassed 835,000, with more than 45,000 deaths. Here in New York City, Governor Andrew Cuomo said that the state's death toll seems to be on a gentle decline, but strict measures of social distancing are very important this hour. The House today votes on a new coronavirus relief package, while states such as Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and others are moving towards the path of reopening of businesses soon. This comes as the World Health Organization today raised global alarm about the coronavirus outbreak again and said that as governments consider loosening various social distancing measures, such decisions should be made at the lowest administrative level. With that, let's begin tonight's episode with lots on COVID 19, updated information, volunteer relief efforts, and a conversation featuring renowned spiritual leader Brahma Kumari Sister Shivani. Here are the headlines. Global Indian Physicians COVID 19 Collaborative featuring Brahma Kumari Sister Shivani, Gapio, ITV Gold. Punjabi Chamber of Commerce on coronavirus pandemic relief efforts and volunteerism featuring Gary Pasricha, ITV Gold. Interventional radiologist Dr. Sumit Bal on coronavirus pandemic updates, measures, and advice, ITV Gold. Time for a short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm Aditi Lamba. This is Vision of Asia, special report on coronavirus impact, measures, and updates. Beginning the show tonight, we have another segment coming in from our recent conversation with interventional radiologist Dr. Sumit Bal on COVID 19 impact, measures, and experience of the medical community. Today, the World Health Organization said that this virus will be with us for a while, with top expert warning the world against opening up too quickly, saying that that would be a careful risk management. More than 800,000 cases and 45,000 deaths, much discussion continues to focus on a path forward, testing, treatments, and reopening. What are some of the biggest concerns of doctors right now with treating patients with so many uncertainties? Or how are they protecting themselves and others? And what do the medical professionals have to say? Dr. Sumit Bal provides us a great perspective to consider with COVID 19.
If I was to ask you how medical professionals such as yourself and other healthcare workers are handling the stress from personal life and their professional life, and how they really keep it together and keep themselves balanced, how would you respond to that?
I think everyone has various forms of coping mechanisms. Some people will play sports, it's music. Some people are just watching mindless television to keep themselves off of it when they come home from the hospital. I'm hearing everything. I think what's difficult is that you can't even have those social interactions. Right. So for me, I can say that because I don't have my wife at home, personally, I spend a lot of time doing meditation. I've been meditating over 20 years now.
Wow.
On a day-to-day basis. And I do a form of something called Kriya Yoga, and that's my form of meditation. And because I don't really have any human interaction when I go home as of the past 5 weeks, I do spend a lot of my time reading or watching something relaxing and meditating. And I try to share some of my meditations online through my Instagram community or Facebook Live and things like that. That's how I try to connect with people and kind of de-stress away from all this COVID stuff and try to find a way that I can center myself and help center other people. I think that's what keeps me personally relaxed. But I know everyone has their own way of doing it.
Let me ask you a question for our audience watching. And I think, mental health awareness is so important during this time period. Taking care of yourself is also very important. Your comments on mindfulness and how can someone practice it?
So mindfulness, I think, is something that everyone can do. It's a really great way to just start a meditation practice. The beautiful thing about it is that you don't have to be really experienced. You can even do 1 minute. I can tell you the longest meditation I've ever done was 7-8 hours, continuous. But I've had deeper meditations in just 1 minute than I've had in some of those like 6 to 8 hour meditations. That's just because of the mental state I was at. And I believe anyone's capable of it. And all it really takes is just finding a place, no matter where you are, or what you're doing, no matter what your experience is, and just sitting down and just being aware of your breath. That's all. Just closing your eyes and looking at this point between the eyebrows and just relaxing your shoulders and just being aware of your breath as it goes in and goes out. And not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future, just being aware of what you're doing and being and kind of removing all expectations of yourself. And I think that's mindfulness meditation right there. If you just do that, you'll feel so relaxed even in a matter of moments. And I think it's something that everyone is capable of doing.
And how do you suppose we could handle this anxiety and stress that everyone keeps on talking about, what isolation has caused for many people? How should they handle that?
So I think two major factors. One of them is what you do for yourself,
right,
and the other is how you interact with others. So they've done studies on this. I think there was a really well-known longitudinal study out of, I believe it was out of Harvard, and it looked at people over a number of years throughout their lifetime, and what was the definitive factor for happiness in these people. And it wasn't money, it wasn't fame, it wasn't a good job. It was their friendships, their human relationships with people. That was the single greatest factor. That was the determinant or the greatest metric of their happiness.
Wow.
And I think that's what was really profound, is that it's really established what is the thing that we hold most dear. It's those human interactions. So even though we can't be in our personal space anymore and exchange a handshake or a hug or a warm embrace that you can do in person, even getting to do that on FaceTime and through Zoom and just trying to reconnect and take that time, since we're not all rushing through the hustle and bustle of work, but we're able to take the time to reestablish our personal relationships. I think that's one of the really, really valuable things. And then in terms of personal wellness,
yes,
mental health, that goes back to what I was saying. My personal favorite is meditation, because you don't need anyone else to do it. You can just do it with yourself. And if you're busy and you have kids that you're balancing at home, or maybe elderly parents, you need to take care of them. If you're fortunate to have a partner, spouse, or whoever, you can split that work with them and say, hey, can I just have my 5 minutes of mindfulness for myself, and then you can take yours. If you can't necessarily do it together, but that's something I think we can really do personally and with other people.
Now we have a segment featuring the ongoing efforts and volunteerism of Indian nonprofits and associations that are trying to help community in need during this pandemic. Lack of personal protective equipment and resources of food and others for hospitals got the attention of the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce in New York and New Jersey, who for the last few weeks now are raising money and are donating PPE and food to hospitals across the tri-states, stressed on the importance of the hard-working healthcare professionals who are effortlessly putting in multiple hours and days, and the need for food and PPE to stay protected and well. The Punjabi Chamber of Commerce also is working towards empowering small businesses that are suffering due to the pandemic, providing them with opportunities such as loans and networking. We spoke with Gary Pasricha on these efforts of COVID relief. Visit their website punjabichamber.com to donate towards COVID relief and much more.
I kind of wanted to just dig right into what's happening in terms of the relief efforts by PCC. I know it's a huge organization for networking and also the Punjabi culture and the community. But right now, the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce is doing some incredible work both here in the US and in India. I would love for you to reflect on some of those aspects and the programs going on.
Okay. Well, we formed the Punjabi Chamber Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the PCC. And with God's grace, we got some startup capital from donations from the trustees and our members. So we're raising money right now to help the frontline healthcare workers primarily. So
Right.
we're buying PPEs and primarily masks. That's our main thing. And we're providing food to the frontline healthcare workers, and we're buying food. Actually, we're providing donations
Hmm.
at food banks as well.
Wow, talk to us a little bit about the relationship with hospitals, and what did you see was needed in those hospital spaces in terms of food or in terms of these PPE. What has the thought process been for the chamber since COVID kind of hit the country?
Well, to be honest, we didn't even know that we're going to do this.
Right.
And what happened is the community started telling us about the grave situation that's at the hospitals. One of our trustees is a physician,
Hmm.
and he told us as well about the situation at the hospitals, and we started speaking to doctors as well. And we realized that we got a real big problem here, and especially in the tri-state area.
Right.
And so we started noticing that there were doctors who did not have even masks. They were told to wear only one mask for the whole week, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
And so it was very heart-wrenching for us. And then, I don't know if you know this, most of the hospitals have closed down their cafeterias.
Okay.
And so before, the hospitals were providing food to the staff through their cafeterias. Once those cafeterias shut down, the hospital workers really had to fend up for themselves for those for food.
While they're taking care of the patients.
Sorry?
While they're taking care of the patients, they have to.
Yeah, and right, and also, as you know, they were working 12 to 14 hours a day, risking their lives, and they didn't have time to even bring food from home, because literally I was speaking to one physician in Kings County
Right.
hospital, and he was telling me that essentially all they're doing is they're going to work, and as soon as they come home, they're sleeping, and then that's it. They're going right back to work. They don't have time to shop. They don't have time to even spend time with their own families. And I thought the least we could do is give them some PPEs at the minimum, which is a very minor thing, and of course, provide for their food.
And this was all done via donations through PCC. Talk to us about how much has been raised so far, and also the hospitals and the facilities that you have, either partnered with or provided for so far.
Yeah, so we've raised in about 10 days about $33,000.
Oh, wow.
As of this morning, yeah. And we're still getting donations daily. And so we were able to help quite a few hospitals in the area, and we're adding more to our list. And all we're doing is we're asking the members or the community, hey, tell us where there's a need. So, for example, in New Jersey, we've of course have done Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick. We sent PPEs to Palisades Hospital as well. We've sent food to JFK Hospital in Edison area, right? We have a lot of food deliveries going out today as well to 2-3 hospitals. 2 of them in Newark. University Hospital in Newark is the main one that we're servicing. We've sent PPEs to Kings County Hospital, which is one of the busiest emergency rooms in all of the country. We sent PPEs to Queens Hospital.
Wow.
In Jamaica. And we've also have today, I believe, we have a shipment going out to Wyckoff Hospital in Brooklyn as well. So what we're doing is we're saying, look, of course, the Punjabi community is raising this money, and even non-Punjabis are donating. So it's not just Punjabis.
Right.
But we're giving it to everyone, and irrespective of their background. This disease, as you know, affects everyone equally, and we just want to do our little, part to help. That's all. I would say the primary focus right now is going to be two things with the youth camp. Let's say it's going to be basically getting them jobs,
Right.
and that's our first real thing. Getting them jobs. Second, helping entrepreneurs with their businesses and giving them basic guidance, access to resources. And we're looking at doing a virtual pitch session. So people who are qualified investors, and we're going to link them up with people who are looking for funding. So that's that's in the works as well.
And for the community that's watching you on ITV Gold, Mr. Pasricha, what should they do if they want to contribute back to the ones in needs? Or perhaps how could they, volunteer with the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce right now? Especially for the COVID relief. I know a lot of the members of the community would like to give back.
Yeah, so look, there are a lot of ways to give back. We're not the only way, obviously. For us, it's really simple. You can just go to our website, and we have a donate button right there. Our website is punjabichamber.com. It's pretty simple. And, punjabichamber.com. And you can hit there. We have a GoFundMe page as well under the Punjabi Chamber Foundation. And so that's one way to get involved. Join. Same thing. It's on the site. It's free. We're not asking for any money from you guys. We just want you to get involved. If we don't know you exist, we can't help you. So it's really simple. That's one thing. The other thing you could do really is in whatever small way you can help. The best way, actually, we're saying is, stick your head out the window a little bit and look at your neighbors. If you have an elderly neighbor who needs help, please help them. If you're going to the grocery store, you're doing a grocery run, maybe you can pick up some milk or eggs or whatever they need and just help your neighbor. And a lot of us, unfortunately, do not speak to our neighbors. So, that's really it. That's the most important thing. It's just such a small thing to do, is just to really look around and see who you can help. And it doesn't take much. And if you see a friend in need or anyone in need, give them a helping hand. Now's the time. There are no other organizations, especially in our South Asian community, that are focused. We have a lot of undocumented workers as well, as you know, especially in the cities. Some of those people who lost their jobs, they're not qualified for unemployment. They're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
So, reach out to them. If you know who they are, please give them a hand. If you can give us their names, and if they need help, then we will arrange something for them as well. Okay. So we haven't used up all our funds because we anticipate that there's going to be a need, especially for the undocumented workers, and how we can get them really some much needed help. Sometimes it's just a matter of providing for basic food.
It's time for another short break. Stay with us in Vision of Asia. Voice of the Community will be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Vision of Asia, Coronavirus Pandemic Special Report, and I am Aditi Lamba. Let's now take a look at another successful online interactive session by the Global Association of Indian Origin, GAPIO. Its Global Indian Physicians COVID-19 Collaborative recently held a virtual conversation featuring Brahma Kumari's sister Shivani, a renowned world spiritual leader, along with leading medical professionals from all across the United States, focused on inner peace and mindfulness during this crisis. Much of the discussion features Sister Shivani giving insights on building strong meditation and wellness to remain powerful and emotionally protected from the stress and anxiety of this pandemic and its impact on communities nationwide. The Brahma Kumaris are a spiritual nonprofit organization affiliated with the United Nations that focuses on soul consciousness transcending above race, religion, and gender. Here is the virtual conversation.
Let's just take a minute of silence. Just a minute of silence. And together, let's create only 3 thoughts. 1 minute and 3 thoughts. And when we create 3 thoughts together, we're going to create a collective energy together here on the platform. The first thought will be, I am a powerful being. The second thought will be, my body is perfect and healthy. And the third thought will be, the world is safe and protected. Just let's create 3 thoughts. It's our little prayer that we will do together. But when we do it together with the same thoughts, it has a ripple effect which is going to radiate to all the countries from where we are. So just close your eyes for a minute and repeat these 3 thoughts inside. I am a powerful being. And feel the energy of this line. Because even when you just say this, it's radiating power to the world. I am a powerful being. My body is perfect and healthy. It's a message we are giving to our body. Each one on this planet is happy and healthy. Just visualize the world. Bring the globe in front of you and visualize those millions and millions and millions of people, each one happy and healthy. The world is safe, it's protected. Om Shanti. Dr. Sibyl has given us a very powerful essence of everything that's happening in the world. And each one of you are flooded with that information day in and day out for the last couple of months. Let's go to the world before COVID-19 and let's understand the dynamics with which we were living our lives. Most of us were living our lives, and we're not talking about doctors, it's just the world. Most of us were living our life believing that our mind is dependent on situations and people. And we could allow a simple situation like even a traffic jam to disturb our mind. We could allow a behavior from a family member or a colleague to create hurt inside. We could allow our mind to blame the situation and people and hold on to that pain for a very long time and say it's very difficult to forgive and forget. This was our life 2 months before this, which means we were living our life in which we believed that the mind is dependent on situations and people. And that is why society together had created emotions like stress, anxiety, fear, pain, hurt, and labeled it as normal because the world was not perfect for them. Their world was not perfect. And so not being perfect inside seemed so normal. And we were living that life. And then here comes a situation which has hit the world together. So it's not a personal situation, not a country situation, but a global situation. And now again, in this situation also, the crisis is outside. That's the truth. But here again, we have made our mind dependent on this situation. And we said when there is a crisis outside, it's normal to feel pain, anxiety, stress, hurt. And because we all said it together, now it was not 1, 10, 100,000 people saying it. Now it was the world saying it together. Fear is normal, anxiety is normal. Not for a day, but for a month or more than a month, 2 months. And so globally, we're creating a vibration of fear and anxiety. In a time when we want to heal people, in a time when we need high immunity system, in a time when we want our healers to have very high intuition power because they don't have enough medical evidence as to what method they are going to use. They have to use their intuition power with every individual patient. So in a time where we need intuition, we need healing energy, we together as a world have created fear and anxiety because we said, is the crisis outside means chaos inside. More than me, each one of you has enough evidence in your life of medical practice that state of mind affects bodies, and which means the energy that we are creating right now is an obstacle in our healing. Faith can heal people. Fear can slow down the healing process. You all have seen enough magic in your life where there were cases which medical science felt were difficult, but the powerful mind created miracles there. And there were cases which were simple, but their own troubled, stressed minds created complications with their body. So we have enough evidence that it's not a virus which is only of the body, the role of the mind in healing people.
And this wraps up our show for the night. Remember to send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook at itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch many of our popular shows for free. Thank you for joining us tonight from New York City. This is Vision of Asia. I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.